The evening was quiet in the small town where nothing unusual ever seemed to happen. Children played near their homes and parents trusted the streets they had known for years. 5-year-old Noah was one of those children who laughed easily and wandered without fear. His mother Lena watched him from the kitchen window while preparing a simple meal. She checked on him often because he liked to explore small corners and hidden spots. Noah played with a small toy car near the gate that opened to the narrow street. The gate was old and sometimes stayed open if the wind pushed it. Lena remembered seeing the gate move slightly, but she did not think much of it. She believed Noah was close and safe just like every other day. The town had never given her a reason to worry before. A few minutes later Lena called Noah's name in a calm voice. There was no reply, but she assumed he was hiding or busy with his game. She called again a little louder and listened carefully. The street answered with silence and a strange stillness. Lena stepped outside and felt a sudden chill despite the warm air. Noah was not near the gate and not near the fence. His toy car rested alone on the ground, as if it had been dropped in a hurry. Lena called his name again and again while walking toward the street. Her voice echoed, but nothing else moved. That was the moment fear quietly entered her heart. Neighbors came out when they heard her voice shake. They helped search nearby yards and empty corners. Someone ran to call the local police station. The town that once felt safe now felt wide and unfamiliar. Every passing second made the silence heavier. Police officers arrived quickly and began asking questions. They searched roads, paths, and small wooded areas near the houses. Lights flashed across walls and fences as night slowly arrived. Lena stayed near the window holding on to hope with trembling hands. She believed Noah would walk back smiling like nothing had happened. The night passed without answers and the morning brought no relief. The town gathered again and continued the search. Every face showed worry, even if no one spoke it aloud. Children were kept inside and doors remained open for the police. Hope slowly changed into quiet fear. On the second day, the officers brought in a trained dog named Rex. Rex was calm and focused with deep eyes that missed nothing. His handler trusted him more than words could explain. The dog lowered his nose and followed Noah's scent carefully. Everyone watched in silence as Rex moved through the town. Rex walked along paths and paused at corners where Noah had once played. He sniffed the air and the ground with careful attention. Then suddenly he stopped near Noah's house. He walked toward the front window where Lena often stood. Rex sat down and looked directly at the glass. The officers exchanged confused looks and tried to guide him away. Rex did not resist, but his eyes stayed fixed on the window. The handler assumed the dog was reacting to strong familiar scents. They continued searching elsewhere, hoping for progress. That day ended without new clues. That evening Lena sat near the same window, lost in worry. The town outside looked unchanged but felt empty. Suddenly she heard a soft sound against the glass. Rex stood outside tapping the window gently with his paw. The sound was calm and steady, not urgent or wild. An officer quickly pulled Rex back and apologized. They thought it was a strange coincidence. Dogs sometimes repeated behaviors when confused. Lena nodded, but her heart felt uneasy. The tap had felt intentional in a way she could not explain. The next day Rex did it again. He ignored trails and commands and walked straight to the window. He sat and tapped the glass once more. People nearby stopped and stared. The same quiet tap echoed again and again. By the fourth day the behavior could not be ignored. Rex returned at the same time each day. He tapped the window and waited silently. His eyes held a seriousness that unsettled everyone. It felt as if he was pointing toward something unseen. The officers debated what it could mean. Some believed the dog was confused by lingering scents. Others felt something deeper was guiding him. Rex was trained to follow truth, not habits. He had never behaved this way before. Lena began to watch the window closely. She noticed small details she had overlooked before. The floor near the wall looked slightly uneven. A faint draft moved the curtains even when the window was closed. The house suddenly felt unfamiliar to her. Rex tapped again that evening, slower than before. His handler noticed how focused he remained. The dog refused to leave even when called. Something was pulling his attention toward that exact spot. The room behind the glass seemed to hold a secret. The officers decided they could no longer ignore the signs. Rex was not confused and he was not guessing. He was leading them somewhere they had not considered. A place close enough to be missed by everyone. A place hidden in plain sight. As night fell, the town waited quietly. Noah was still missing and time was running thin. Rex sat by the window once more and tapped. This time the sound felt heavier than before. Whatever waited beyond that wall was about to change everything. The officers stood quietly inside the house as Rex waited outside the window. The dog remained still with his eyes fixed on the same place. His handler Sam felt a deep unease he could not explain. Rex was trained to move forward, not stay frozen. This behavior was new and deliberate. Lena watched from the corner of the room, holding her hands together. Her heart beat fast as memories of her child filled her mind. She had lived in this house for many years without fear. Now every wall felt unfamiliar and heavy. The silence inside the room felt louder than noise. Sam asked permission to inspect the wall near the window. Lena nodded slowly, trusting the dog more than words. The officers began checking the floor and nearby furniture. Nothing appeared broken or damaged at first glance. Still, Rex refused to move. One officer noticed a faint sound when stepping near the wall. It was soft but different from the rest of the floor. He pressed his foot again and listened closely. The sound echoed slightly as if the space beneath was hollow. Everyone froze at the same time. Rex tapped the window again slowly. The sound felt heavier than before. Sam felt his chest tighten as understanding began to form. This place had been overlooked because it felt too close to search. The truth was hiding inside the home. The officers carefully moved a small rug aside. The floor beneath looked older than the rest. There was a faint outline that did not match the wood pattern. It looked like something had been placed over it long ago. Lena covered her mouth as fear turned into shock. Sam knelt down and examined the edges closely. The panel was well hidden but not perfect. Years of wear had slightly revealed its shape. No one noticed it because no one expected it. The dog had seen what humans missed. The officers gently lifted the panel with careful hands. A small opening revealed a narrow space below. Cool air rose from the darkness beneath the floor. The room felt colder suddenly. Everyone held their breath. A faint sound came from below. It was weak but real. Sam lowered his head closer to listen. The sound carried a familiar rhythm. It was a child's breathing. Lena cried out softly and fell to her knees. Her body shook as hope returned with pain. The officers acted quickly but carefully. They widened the opening just enough. Rex whined softly for the first time. Sam called down gently using calm words. A small voice answered slowly and tired. It was Noah. He was scared but alive. Tears filled every eye in the room. The officers reached down and lifted Noah carefully. He clung to them as light touched his face. His body was weak but he responded to voices. Lena wrapped him in her arms without letting go. The room filled with quiet relief. Noah was taken outside into fresh air. Neighbors gathered silently watching the moment unfold. Some cried while others prayed quietly. The child was wrapped in warmth and care. Rex sat nearby watching calmly. Sam knelt beside Rex and placed a hand on his head. The dog had done his job without fear or hesitation. He had trusted his instincts over commands. That instinct saved a life. The town would never forget it. Later that night, officers investigated the hidden space further. They found signs that the space had been prepared long ago. It was not accidental and not natural. The truth behind it would be handled by the law. For now the focus remained on the child. Lena stayed beside Noah as he rested. She whispered his name again and again. The house felt different now, but lighter. The secret it held was finally revealed. The fear no longer owned the walls. Rex returned to the window one last time that night. He looked inside and then turned away. His task was complete. The message had been delivered. The silence finally felt peaceful again. The town of Green Hollow would change after this. People would look closer at familiar places. They would trust instincts as much as sight. And they would remember the dog who refused to walk away. Because sometimes the truth waits right beneath your feet. The morning after Noah was found felt different across the town. People woke with heavy thoughts and quiet relief. The streets that once felt ordinary now carried deep meaning. Every house looked familiar yet uncertain. The truth had been hiding closer than anyone imagined. Noah rested in a small room filled with soft light. Doctors said his strength would return with time and care. Lena stayed beside him without leaving even for a moment. She held his hand as if the world might take him again. Each breath he took felt like a promise. Outside, the house officers continued their work carefully. They spoke in low voices and moved with purpose. Every step inside the home was examined closely. Walls, floors, and hidden corners were checked again. Nothing would be overlooked now. Rex waited quietly near the entrance. He watched everyone move with calm attention. His handler Sam stayed close by his side. Sam felt a deep respect for the dog he trusted. Rex had followed truth instead of habit. Neighbors gathered at a distance, speaking softly. No one wanted to disturb the fragile peace. Faces showed shock mixed with gratitude. Many realized how easily things could have ended differently. The town felt smaller and closer at the same time. Children were kept indoors that day. Parents held them tighter than before. Simple moments like laughter felt more valuable now. The idea of safety had changed forever. Trust would take time to rebuild. Inside the house, Lena noticed details she had ignored for years. The floor creaked differently near certain spots. The walls seemed thicker than she remembered. She wondered how fear could hide behind normal life. Guilt mixed with relief inside her heart. Noah slowly began to speak about what he remembered. His voice was soft and uncertain. He talked about darkness and waiting quietly. He remembered hearing footsteps above him. He never understood where he was. Lena listened without interrupting. Tears ran down her face as she stayed strong. She thanked him for being brave. She promised he was safe now. Her words carried both comfort and pain. Sam spoke with other officers about Rex's behavior. They reviewed his training and past work. Nothing explained why Rex stayed so focused on the window. Some believed it was instinct beyond training. Others believed it was something deeper. Rex rested but remained alert. His ears moved with every sound. He showed no signs of stress or fear. It was as if he had expected this outcome. His calm presence brought comfort to many. The town leaders met later that afternoon. They discussed changes to safety and awareness. Plans were made to inspect older homes. They wanted to prevent another hidden danger. Everyone agreed silence was no longer acceptable. News of what happened spread slowly. People from nearby areas came with questions. The town chose to protect Noah's privacy. They focused on healing instead of attention. Respect became the strongest rule. Lena returned home that evening with Noah. The house felt different but no longer frightening. Light filled the rooms as doors stayed open. Neighbors stopped by quietly to offer support. Noah watched the street from the same window. Rex sat outside once again. He looked up at the window calmly. There was no tapping this time. Only quiet understanding remained. The message had already been heard. That night Lena could finally sleep. Fear loosened its grip for the first time. The house no longer held secrets. The walls felt honest again. Peace returned slowly but surely. Noah dreamed quietly holding his toy car. His breathing was steady and calm. The darkness he remembered began to fade. Morning light waited for him. A new chapter was beginning. The town of Green Hollow would never forget this moment. They learned that danger can hide in familiar places. They learned to listen beyond what is visible. They learned that help can come in unexpected forms. And they learned that truth sometimes knocks softly before being seen. Days passed and the town slowly found its rhythm again. Morning light returned to the streets with a softer feeling. People greeted each other with warmer voices than before. Every smile carried gratitude and quiet reflection. The town had learned how fragile normal life could be. Noah grew stronger each day as rest and care helped him heal. He walked through the house with Lena close beside him. Every step felt like a victory for both of them. He asked simple questions about the world outside. Curiosity returned to his eyes. Lena cleaned the house with new awareness. She opened windows and let sunlight reach every corner. The hidden space was sealed and no longer feared. The house felt honest and open again. Her heart felt lighter with each passing day. Sam visited often to check on Noah and Lena. He brought calm reassurance with him. He spoke gently and listened carefully. He understood that healing was more than physical recovery. Trust needed time and patience. Rex stayed nearby during those visits. He lay quietly watching the room. Noah slowly approached him one afternoon. Rex lifted his head and waited calmly. Their eyes met without fear. Noah placed a small hand on Rex's head. The dog did not move away. His tail moved slowly with quiet acceptance. Noah smiled for the first time since returning home. That moment stayed with everyone who saw it. The town held a small gathering days later. It was not loud or celebratory. It was calm and respectful. People stood together in silence for a moment. They honored truth awareness and quiet bravery. Sam spoke briefly about listening closely to signs. He spoke about trust and responsibility. He mentioned Rex only once. Everyone already knew the role he played. The crowd nodded in understanding. Rex received gentle pats and kind words. He did not seek attention. He stayed calm as always. His work was done and he knew it. Peace suited him well. Noah returned to playing near the house under careful watch. The gate was fixed and always closed now. Lena watched him from the same window. Fear no longer ruled her thoughts. Awareness replaced worry. The sound of laughter returned to the street. Children played closer together than before. Parents spoke more openly with each other. The town felt united by shared experience. Strength grew from understanding. At night, Lena sat quietly near the window. She remembered the tapping sound that changed everything. She thanked whatever force guided Rex that day. The fear she once felt no longer controlled her. Gratitude filled its place. Noah slept peacefully in his room. Dreams replaced memories of darkness. Soft light from the hallway comforted him. Each night felt safer than the last. Healing moved forward steadily. Sam prepared to return to regular duty. Before leaving, he knelt beside Rex. He thanked him with a quiet voice. Rex leaned gently into the touch. No words were needed. The town began inspections of other older homes. People welcomed the checks without resistance. Safety mattered more than pride. Secrets lost their power once shared. The lesson stayed clear for everyone. Weeks later, the story became something else. It was no longer about fear. It became a story of awareness and instinct. A reminder that truth can be close and unseen, and that listening can save lives. Noah started school again with a gentle return. He stayed near familiar faces. Teachers watched him with care. Friends welcomed him back warmly. Normal life slowly rebuilt itself. Rex walked through the town one last time before moving on. People watched him with respect and gratitude. Children waved softly as he passed. He did not look back. His work had already left its mark. Lena stood at the window as Rex disappeared from view. She placed her hand on the glass quietly. This time there was no tapping. Only understanding remained. The message had been learned. The town of Green Hollow changed forever. They learned to look closer and listen deeper. They learned that safety requires awareness. They learned that help can come silently. And they learned that even the softest sign can lead to truth.